A short sale is a possible alternative to a foreclosure. Many houses right now are underwater, and that means that the homeowner owes the lender a lot more money than the house is worth. And rather than going to foreclosure, in certain circumstances, the lender is going to allow the homeowner to sell the property for less than what's owed. The good thing about a short sale is you can avoid some of these, what some people have called deficiency judgments you might hear about, to allow you to kind of move on with your life and not have future obligations to the lender. A short sale isn't for everyone. You have to actually qualify for it, and the biggest qualification has to do with financial hardship. Financial hardship can come in a couple different ways. If you have assets somewhere to pay off your loan, you're not going to qualify for a short sale. And if your income is such that you can pay your mortgage, you may not qualify for the short sale either. You need to have some sort of financial hardship that establishes that you can't pay your mortgage payments. Colorado has a unique foreclosure process. It's called a public trustee foreclosure process. And usually it works like this. When you're late on your payments, the lender will try to work with you in recovering some of that and bringing you current. When that fails, they will file what's called a notice of election and demand. And what that means is they are notifying you that in a certain date, they're going to have a public auction to sell the home to the highest bidder in order to pay off that loan. And in Colorado, that process is usually about 120 days out. So if you are a homeowner, you receive a notice of election and demand, you're really looking at about 120 days before your home goes to foreclosure. Some clients ask me, why should I do a short sale versus a foreclosure? And the answer really has to do with certainty. With a short sale, you are negotiating with the bank that you're going to sell the property at an agreed upon price. After you sell the property, you no longer have obligations to the bank. In a foreclosure process, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't have certainty. You don't have control. When your property goes to auction at a foreclosure, it may be going to auction for much less than the amount that's owed on the mortgage. In that case, you're probably going to have to pay a deficiency, what's called a deficiency judgment. So you could ultimately be liable to that lender to pay them more money after the foreclosure. Whereas with a short sale, once it's done, it's done. One of the benefits of a short sale is post-sale obligations. When I do a short sale, I'm selling my home to another buyer, and the lender is agreeing to that sale, so that when we're done, I don't owe that lender any more money in the future. In very limited circumstances, that lender may reach an agreement with me that allows me to pay something over time, but in most cases, I'm fully released from that liability. With a foreclosure, that's not the case. I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm not sure with a foreclosure how long that lender could come after me for that deficiency. The major benefit of a short sale is that when I go through that sale and I sell the home to the buyer, the lender is agreeing to that sale. And so when it closes, I don't have any future obligations to that lender. Real estate professionals in Colorado really need to be aware of what's called the Colorado Foreclosure Protection Act. That's a statute that has very specific requirements when working with someone in foreclosure, and it's aimed at protecting that person in foreclosure. Colorado is different than some other states. In some other states, when you go through foreclosure, if the bank receives the full amount of its loan at foreclosure sale, the bank's happy. But if the bank receives less than what it's owed, then that's called a deficiency. And in Colorado, you are ultimately liable as a borrower for that deficiency amount. And a lender can get what's called a deficiency judgment to collect on that amount. In some states, there is no deficiency. So that when the lender forecloses, the property is their only recourse. They can't come after the borrower personally. In Colorado, it's different. In Colorado, if there is a deficiency, they can come after you for it. HAFA is a government-sponsored alternative to foreclosures program. And it has specific requirements that if a borrower meets those requirements and does a short sale, the lender can never come back to the borrower for a deficiency. It also allows for a lot of incentives. For example, HAFA allows the borrower to receive up to $3,000 for moving expenses, which might be a really needed thing for a seller facing foreclosure and can do a short sale and move out of the house instead.